The black hood that had been placed over my head felt suffocating, even though I could actually breathe just fine. They had also wrapped a rope around my waist 3 times, which bothered me nearly as much as not being able to see anything, which was the point, of course. Both made me uncomfortable in a way that was visceral, which was likely the intended purpose. I knew where the members of the Order of the Golden Dawn were because I could hear their voices as they chanted, but I couldn't see what they were doing, and the whole reason I was here was to keep an eye on them. Someone came forward to fetch me, smelling strongly of incense. I thought that my other senses were probably heightened because I couldn't see, but it was also possible that the person just smelled that strongly. It wasn't a pleasant aroma. Whoever it was sprinkled my head with something. I could feel little drops hitting the black hood over my head. "Child of Earth, arise and enter the path of darkness." It was a man, not Robert Nightingale, the man I was supposed to be investigating, but one of the other officers of this order. I hadn't quite caught all their names before I was brought into the abbey where the ceremony was being conducted. I got up off my knees with some difficulty since the floor was hard stone and I couldn't see anything to balance myself. I was going to have bruises on my knees and shins, that was for certain. The man took my arm and led me forward. They all were silent, and I remembered that this was where I was supposed to recite the lines that I'd studied. "My soul is wandering in darkness, seeking the light of occult knowledge," I said, stumbling a little over the words. I'd worked hard at memorizing them, but they simply didn't come naturally to me. I felt my hand being placed on something that was hard and felt triangular in shape. Now it was Nightingale's voice asking a series of questions. "Do you promise to keep secret everything in relation to the Order, to maintain kind and benevolent relations with all the freighters and soarers of this Order? Do you promise to neither copy nor allow to be copied any manuscript, lest our secret knowledge be revealed?" Nightingale paused dramatically. "I do." I felt uncomfortable saying the words, feeling as though I was at some kind of dark wedding and had just bound myself to something sinister. "Do you promise not to suffer yourself to be hypnotized or mesmerized or placed in a state of passivity, to never use occult powers for any evil purpose, and to persevere through the ceremony of admission?" "I do." I had a lot of questions about everything he'd just said, though now obviously wasn't the time to ask. I would try to find out later what all of that meant. "Do you swear that if you violate any of these oaths, you will voluntarily submit to a deadly and hostile stream of power set in motion by the chiefs of the Order, by which you should fall slain and paralyzed without visible weapon, as if slain by a lightning flash?" This time I was the one who paused, since I was uncomfortable agreeing to any of that, but I forced myself to do it anyway, since it was what needed to be done for the job. "I do," I ground out, hoping that my voice sounded normal and that none of the members had noticed my hesitation. But now I felt something heavy, cold, and metal at the back of my neck. It was there for only an instant, and then was gone, but it was long enough that my blood ran cold. I'd been assured that there wasn't any sort of blood sacrifice or even bloodletting associated with this order, but just how certain could I be? We'd had very little time to prepare for this assignment before I dove right in, and I felt as though I was woefully unprepared.